Hi, and welcome to the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. I am Frankie George McCullough, and the topics we have in these podcasts are intuition, self fulfillment, and trusting yourself. You'll see that I will be perfectly frank, and please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform. Hello, and welcome to the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. What I really wanted to say was hello, hello, hello. Anyways, hi guys. Thank you for joining us today. Our topic today is going to be weight and body image and understanding the emotional components related to that. And by the way, oftentimes the emotional component is I just don't want to put the effort in. I just need to chill. There isn't always oh my God, I got a problem kind of thing in anything. It's just the role we play in it. And a lot of times the role we play it is I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm just, you know what? That's what I want to do right now. I don't want to put any effort in. I just want to. And in America, we have so many options, and most of us come from what we see, right? What we see is what I am definitely a seafood eater, which was coined a while ago. So, we put too much emphasis on appearance because this containment is just a physical, it's just a human condition, okay? To care for ourselves is not predicated necessarily on weight, because weight can be large, it can be small, it can be flabby, it can be toned, right? Weight can be something we're carrying, it could be something we want to carry. So we get stuck again in these thought patterns that somebody put in our head from years ago that, for years ago, I mean, there was a time in history when being overweight meant having a weight greater than what the world says is average weight was a sign of wealth. Or being not having any excess weight was a sign of poverty, so we put definitions, as I said, around things, and then people rise in them. I'm wealthy because I have weight. I have a client who I just adored. She really showed me this wonderful road and helped me wake up to myself. Her name was Marjorie Fisher. Big Marjorie Fisher, we called her. She was a Southern belle. And she was a petite little thing. And she would say to me, baby, you can't be too rich and you can't be too small, right? You can be thin and wealthy. You don't have to be heavy and wealthy. And her point was, don't carry the weight of other people's stuff because of what they have you believing. They're not irrelevant. They're not relevant to each other. Wealth is not relevant to weight, okay? And wealth is and weight is not relevant to wealth. Did I say it backwards? Anyways, each one. Yeah.
No, I got it.
So I have excess weight, and actually just until I finally found myself a personal trainer, oh boy, at a price I could afford. So excited. He said, this is the time I had. I said, I'm jumping. I'm going in. I'm going to take that. And something clicked for me. I went, well, if I'm going to do that, it wasn't a thought. It just was a reaction. I decided I was going to do Weight Watchers. Now, yesterday was after a week and a half. Yesterday was probably my first day of getting it right? But for some reason, I'm in the game. It's not that hard for me. Whereas before it was arduous. Man, this is what I got to eat. I don't want to eat this food. This food is nasty. Oh, why do I have to do that? Or my kids would eat. Like we made dinner 3 nights in a row. I ate what they ate, right? So it's like, and you figure that out. We should never, our world, ourselves, the human being, source, energy, spirit, lacks nothing. Lacks nothing. We come from
Well, our biggest. Go
we
ahead.
come from lack when we think I can't lose weight. We come from lack when we find a fault with weight.
So there's a couple of thoughts that I have on all of that. Number one, we compare ourselves to each other too much, right? And Instagram did not make that any easier. People are very scared to be vulnerable and be real about their own issues, and even thin people or people that are perceived as thin have issues with their weight or body dysmorphia or whatever. So there is no such thing as perfect when it comes to body image. Everybody has some sort of problem going on. Part of that is what's being marketed to us, right? We have to be aspirational and inspirational. I worked in television, and that's all I heard when we were doing like selling stuff and sponsorships. It's aspirational and inspirational, right? And that actually physically hurts people when all you're seeing are these perfect images. Even the models or the actresses themselves can barely keep up with their own image. When everything is being filtered, right? When everything is being photoshopped to a perfection that doesn't exist. So I think step one is realizing, okay, these outside influences, do I feel imperfect because I don't feel good with myself, or do I feel imperfect because I'm buying into the aspirational, inspirational viewpoint of the world that we live in? And then number two is when you really sit with yourself, you finally sat with yourself and decided, okay, I don't like the way I feel. I want to feel better, and I have to do, XYZ could help me. You were in the right frame of mind to start with the trainer, to start with Weight Watchers, right? You were in that right frame of mind. When you start eating healthy, because I hate saying diet. My daughter is just starting to eat healthier, and she'll say, well, I'm on a diet. You're not on a diet. This is the way you're going to eat for the rest of your life. You're eating healthier, right? You're giving your body this meat bag that we just came to this earth in, right? Our spirit's just in this thing, this avatar, I call it. Um, when you look at it as I'm just giving my body fuel, you start to see it differently. And sugar tricks your brain, right? That when you eat the bad crap, it tricks your brain into thinking you want more of it. You don't really want more of it. It's just like a drug. It's just that, dopamine, serotonin, whatever it is that goes off in your brain tells you more and more and more. So you have to, again, sit with your intuition and say, like, do I want more of this? Or am I just buying into, what my brain is telling me? Because it's being tricked into thinking it needs it. So I applaud you for getting, healthier and making that choice. But I also know it's not always easy to be in that mind space, right? I've done it a million times. And each time, the only difference is, whether I was skinny or whether I was fat, my brain wasn't in it, if that makes sense, right? I still had those old thoughts of I'm fat, I'm ugly. So even at my skinniest, at size 6, where I looked in the mirror and I could see myself for the first time, which is funny, I identify with that body, my brain still wasn't in the healthy frame of mind.
So,
So
this is your conversation right now is a perfect state of how we use language. I agree with you. I am definitely not on a diet. I am on a lifestyle change, right? I like to eat at night in bed when I'm watching television. How am I changing my lifestyle? Eating different foods.
right. Or waiting 10 seconds. I think they say that 90 seconds that feeling passes, right? When you're like, I just want the Doritos, like, oh my God. 90 seconds and a glass of water, and that feeling will pass. And the more you get into the training yourself to do that, the less you're going to want the food at night.
If you trust your intuition, if you can sit with yourself and get rid of all of the society mind chatter and listen, this thing called brain washing is doable to yourself. Hypnosis can take you into that space. Self-hypnosis, meditation, manifestation can all take you into this hypnosis, okay? The language we use about ourselves is causing us a bigger problem than ourselves, right? I come from a thought that what we think is much more valuable than what we put in our bodies. What we think can change what we put in our bodies, okay? What we put in our bodies will change what happens in our minds as well. But I come from the mind first. I come from, we have the I am going to live a long, healthy life, okay? That has been my mantra. So what showed up at, I don't want to discuss my age, at a certain age, which I used to be a bodybuilder. I used to be a bodybuilding competition when I was in my 20s, right? So I had children, all that stopped. I gained weight. I, got older. I love being a mom. And I had to learn how to not worry. I don't like worry. Worry to me is not being with
Mm-hmm.
source energy. And as I shared with you, I'm not crazy about this word negative, because negative, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just the way I'm thinking. And oftentimes I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking by following the crowd. And the crowd is
Mm-hmm.
media, advertising. It's whether it's on television or on internet. It's what I see reeling over and over and over and over again. Buy a Tesla, buy a Tesla, buy a Tesla, buy a Tesla, right? Um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Oreo cookies, Oreo cookies. Hey, I've improved myself by going thinner, but the calories are the same. So
Mm-hmm.
first take a look at ourselves and go, okay, is this weight serving me? Let's be clear, because you have it, it's somehow serving you because you have it. Is there an emotional component related to my eating? Am I just being lazy? I just want to go, I just, I don't want life to be so arduous. I'm just going to go with everything. I'm just going to make it, oh man, I just want to slump. Doesn't mean I'm unhappy. I just want to be away from all of this fucked upness and just go, does that make me wrong or bad, or does that mean I'm depressed? No, just means I'm done with all this shit. Okay? And we put too much definition on things. Too much. I'm never going to meet anybody if I'm overweight. People don't want to go out with me because I'm overweight. I'm not going to find any clothes because I'm overweight. For me, I'm overweight. And I feel great about myself when I wear clothes that make me feel good about me. We, society, if we can get out of, as you said, comparing and listening to the media of any kind, and this has been going on for years. I mean, when television first
Years.
arose, they spoke of, well, that advertising is brainwashing, and they're going, no, it's not brainwashing. Now, let's be clear, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The more your
Mm-hmm.
reel plays in your mind, the more it's gonna stick. All right, any reel. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why on Instagram we run reels, right?
Instagram, exactly.
So is the weight the problem? No, it's something deeper. That's the problem. I want to be lazy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I like the weight. I like just sitting on the couch eating this sugar. People think you're not happy. Well, why? Why can't I be happy and be fat? Who said? Somebody. Well, that's bullshit. Okay? Get
Mm-hmm.
clarity on why. Why am I eating? I just had a baby. I have so much shit going on. I don't have the time to do this stuff. I didn't create the habit before I got into it. I got a little uncomfortable. This baby thing is way too much for me. For some people, for other people, it's a breeze. I don't have the money to hire somebody else to help me. Get clear on why it came as a young child. Okay, get clear. you know Parents have to help their children because children want to learn from us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to say a word. You could have a deaf parent and a deaf child. No words are spoken, and that child is going to observe that parent's behavior and follow that parent's behavior. So do we influence our children like advertising does? 100%. 100%. Do we play a role in it?
I know.
100%. 100%. It's not a blame. And that's, we have to get out of that. There's no blame here. Look it. There's nothing wrong with my behavior. We have to get out of that. There's nothing wrong with your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to be big. It's okay for you to be small. It's when you're like, yeah, that's not serving me anymore. I'm done with this slump thing. I'm done with the laziness
Mm-hmm.
thing. I'm done with it. I really don't want to eat the sugar
Mm-hmm.
anymore because I observed the sugar makes me feel like crap. and then I want to eat more of it. So I don't want to do that anymore. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to change my behavior. You see,
I have a little bit of parent guilt because, like you said, our kids follow what we're doing, and my daughter my kids took
Can
on
I
my bad
slap you?
behaviors. I have such guilt over it, though. I mean, I literally had a conversation with her, and I said, I'm so sorry because this isn't how I wanted to parent, but I didn't take care of my issues mentally before I had you. So unfortunately, now you're living through me with this whole process of eating healthier and feeding our bodies. That was one thing that was super hard for me. The other is there's a difference between like hunger pains and letting those pass and like sitting in the uncomfortableness, right? It's okay to actually have hunger pains versus like, is my blood sugar low, right? Do I need something because my blood sugar's low and I am out of energy? And I had to really decipher between the two of those. I think I went for years never having hunger pains because I would just keep feeding my face. And then the third thing is like the reason for gaining the weight or keeping the weight maybe so far in the back of your mind. I think part of mine was like, it's my barrier, right? My barrier between myself and the world. Why? I'm not 100% sure, but I truly felt like the times where the weight was the worst was literally me building this barrier. And it was a physical one with fat, right? Like, people don't notice you as much, right? You can just kind of go out throughout the world. No one thinks you're hot, or at least that was my perception, right? I can just float through this world. No one's going to confront me. No one's going to, say anything to me or whistle at me down the street. What sucks is I had the reverse happen when I was younger. I had people make fun of me for being fat. I had a bus drive by and throw a soda at me. So like the fat for me is like this weird, when I was younger, it was traumatizing, and now I'm using it as like a barrier. I don't know why per se. I'm getting out of that, thank God, because I'm finally working on my brain first. And that was the one thing I said to my daughter. I said, listen, I've been skinny. I've been like even fatter than I am now. And every single time, despite counting calories and changing the food I was eating, I never changed what was in here, what was in my brain. So I explained to her when we had that conversation of, apologizing to her because she picked up my habits, my bad habits. I said, we have to work on what's going on in here first. So while you're eating healthier and this is a lifestyle change and I'm so proud of you, let's discuss what's also impacting you to lose the weight. So, is she comparing herself to other kids? She's the bigger girl in school. Her dad is 6'2". She's just a tall girl. And she watches YouTube. So she sees all these images coming at her. I'm glad she decided to do it for her. But I'm also worried about the why. Like, what's her why?
So, Rach, maybe she has no why. Maybe she's just following a road that someone is showing her. Maybe there's no why. Mm-hmm. Your guilt, it doesn't serve you or her, right? So let yourself have the guilt for 5 minutes, then get out. Okay? Everything as a human being is a conditioning of behavior. Okay? We say, I hate you, when in fact what we're saying is, I hate your behavior. Okay? We're not saying, I hate you. And if we use that language, it feels better to the other person. I hate your behavior. Right?
If they're an adult. If it's a kid, they still hear, I hate you.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't like when you do this, I'll say to my kids, and they'll be like, you don't like me. It's like, oh my God, no, I didn't say that. I said, I don't like when you do this action. I love you forever, but you're being a dick. Stop.
Although, here's the thing. Our job as parents is to show our children the way. We can only show it from our perspective. So, what is guilt doing for you? And you heard me say this, I believe, in the last podcast. Every word that comes from your mouth, every word that comes to you, every action you do, every action that comes to you, everything is being guided by Source, not just for you, but for the whole world. And if you can come from a sense of that faith that you and I talked about in the last podcast, this sense of knowing, then you can trust the process. And guilt, you'll see, serves nothing. Neither you nor the other person. None of these deadly sins serve us. They don't even serve us to compare the non-guilt to the guilt. But we were raised all through history to go in this direction. What if history took us in, everything is good and okay, and just don't harm anyone or yourself?
Now here's an amazing sponsor. Veterans Van Lines Moving Service, helping veterans get into the moving business. 248-889-8888. VeteransVanlines.com. They'll show you how to get it done. Did you know that Alline Salon Group is hiring stylists in Michigan? Candidates can receive up to $800 a year as part of their Student Loan Repayment Program. For more information, go to AllineSalonGroup.com. That's ALLINE salongroup.com.
In our education system in America, I don't know of any other country, but the first thing we should teach those kids is how to behave in treating ourselves and then other people. Because we're going to treat other people the way we treat ourselves. Mom, I want to have that piece of cake. Okay, baby. Or there's no cake in the house for them to want to have, right?
That was a big one. Exactly.
But I'm telling you, whatever your dollar is dealing with is giving you something and it's giving her something. And as our children see us rise, they too will rise. And it serves them. It serves them as they continue each moment. Forget the future. Stay in today. Stay in today. Quit going into what's going to happen then. Let's deal with what's happening now.
So for people that want to make a lifestyle change, do you kind of agree with me where you have to change like what's going on in your brain first, right? To sort of allow the lifestyle change to actually work and take effect, right? You were in a different mind space now when you decided to eat healthier and get a trainer and stick to it. You've been sticking to it, right? Because I've always had those, oh yeah, I'm going to do all these things and I sign up for all of it and I call it my fat tax, right? I pay the gym, but I don't go. It's my fat tax. I got one of those healthy meal plans, but like let it rot in the fridge. That was my fat tax, right? I had to get out of that mindset. And before I agreed to do these things, figure out my why and really understand what the changes are going to be.
I think the why, you're looking at the why as the why of how to change. I would say look at the why of why am I here? Why am I here? I'm here because I feel like being lazy. I'm here because you know what? I got a little heavy cloud on my head and I just don't want to do anything. And it's okay. You see, we are so judgmental that we find fault with being human. And my God, the human condition arises so much in comparison. This person says you're depressed. Thank you for caring and fuck you. I didn't ask you, okay? I do have a cloud on me. I am dealing with whatever I'm dealing through comparison, and I need to get out of my way and go, okay, stop comparing. I like happiness. I want to be happy, and you know what? Right now, I like being lazy. And right now, I'm going to eat. Now, what is it that I want? I want to be healthy. I want to feel fulfilled in my life. And I'm not sure what that is. So I need someone to help me to get through the shit I'm sitting in. Okay? And I'm not talking necessarily a therapist to go back to your past. I'm talking about, can somebody please help lift this shit off me so I can get out of here? Okay. So I can go.
Right. Well, it's that 90 seconds. Who can help me in those seconds where I'm just like, oh my God, I can't. Because you're also not listening to your intuition, right? Your intuition is telling you don't eat the cinnamon bun.
I don't know if that's intuition.
No, that's not healthy.
No.
I always ask it. I'm like, is this good for me? And it'll say no. And if you choose to eat it, that's a choice.
That's a different thing.
Understand the choice.
That's a different thing. You need to get okay with the fact that you're eating, period. Quit putting all these definitions around it. I'm eating. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let me look back. We always had all this junk food in the house, and my mom was overweight, and we were always around heavy people, and people made me feel shitty. So I, rather than break away from people telling me I'm fat and I'm ugly and I'm this and I'm that, I bought in. You remember me saying, we buy into belief systems. You bought into, I bought into I'm short. I started going around saying I am 6 foot trapped in a 5 foot body, and I go to parties and nobody can see how tall I am. They think I'm 6 foot. I'm like, fuck, this shit works. We must be honest with ourselves and say, hey, listen, I bought into this belief system. I bought into it because somebody said it, and I felt that person was more important than me, and therefore I bought it. Now, is that true? No. Am I fat? Yeah, I am. Have I been fat all my life? Yeah. Now let me go back there just for a second. Now let's look at the behavior that was showing up in my life that took me there. For some people, their family ate great, they worked out like crazy, they were so stuck in that they could not stand the boundaries of running every day. And so they were like, whoo, that's a heavy thing on me. I'm going to eat, because that was their way of control. Or the anorexic person or the bulimic person. My way of control is I'm only going to eat this much food. We need control to bust out of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say to you, weight loss is us trying to, when we choose to lose weight, we must look at what was the road that got me here, so that we can look at the role we played in it. Sometimes it's just that you were there and you observed it, and so you followed that pattern. You followed it, okay? Somebody led you to water and you drank it. Now you're trying to lead yourself to the other water and you're like, I can't drink it, okay? I can't drink the not eating, okay? I can't drink the eating this way. And so, remember, everything serves us. Everything. Some people never get to this point. Some people have to go through whatever to get to finally ending their world in a place where they're like, I did life good. I like the way I did this thing called life. Other people go, oh man, life is fucked up. I can't wait to go. Okay? And some people take their own lives, and religion says this is wrong, this is bad, and this is, Judas was the first one to commit suicide. Okay? And so they decided this is a bad thing. Some people are just done. It's a shame. I've known a few people. Why are they done? I don't know. But if they had self-fulfillment and they were good, I know people that said, I'm going to die at this age. Sure enough, they died. Sure enough.
Right, because do you think it's because it's just a story they kept telling in their
Yeah,
heads?
it was what they wanted. What's wrong with what you want?
So with weight loss, you look back, you see what your familiar is, right? You start unraveling those patterns. How do you stay motivated? That's my other issue, is how do I stay motivated to keep doing
Once
this?
you observe your patterns and get out of blame anybody, all these deadly sins, they become like glue stuck in you. And once you can get out of blaming the guilt, the shame, the other person, that person's behavior, your own behavior, once you get out of blaming anybody, then you're going to have power. Once you come from losing weight is what I want to do. Who the fuck cares what the past was? I want to lose weight. I want to eat healthy. I want to feel good about the way I look. Okay? I've maybe lost 5 pounds. Maybe. I hope. I'm afraid to get on the scale. Although, for me, I feel good. I like coming from the way I feel. Not because this one says you're pretty, this one says you're not, this one, I don't care. I don't care. I love you. I want to be me with you. And who I am is perfect. Skinny, fat, ugly, short, farting, not farting. And when you can see yourself as I am already perfect, then without blame, without my fault, this is the way life was for me, this person did this to me. You walked a path, people were on it. You chose to buy into what they did or said or followed them. We have to help each other find our own individual self-fulfillment. with self-fulfillment,
Mhm.
there will be no battle. There will be no war. There will just be, acknowledgement.
Do you think if more and more of us do that and come from that place, we'll stop acknowledging people's weight loss or how they look? Do you know what I mean? Like,
No,
it sucks when people are like, "Oh my god, you lost so much weight, you look amazing." And it's like, "I didn't look amazing before because I was fat." Like, there's that weird message too sometimes where you feel like, "Oh wow, now I'm valued because I lost the weight." That doesn't, it sucks. It sucks that it's a reality. I mean, I remember my grandmother saying, "Oh, you would be so pretty. You have such beautiful skin." So I would be so pretty if I lost the weight, right? Like those are the, voices in my head. It's so great. Like love you, grandma, but like shit, come on.
Rachel, that's going to happen.
So
Listen, we need each other. People, the human people, we don't know how to not. We were taught to be like this. And only those that choose to awaken and realize that the language they use affects them and everybody else. No wonder we like animals. Okay.
I know,
It's no
right?
wonder they just love.
Ugh.
We must learn from these beings, these animals, or the plant that just rises in its beauty. We talked about Spinoza's God. Remember Spinoza's God that we discussed?
Yeah.
I think we should post that on the website so that people can read about it. It doesn't take away from the way you believe in God, but it enhances and makes you realize that life is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we have to stop, right? So, guys, if you want some coaching, I was thinking I'm going to do a group coaching on some of these things so that it's more affordable for people, where you can come on to something. Rachel, you'll help me create this, and
Yeah.
like
a
a
Zoom
Zoom meeting, or
Yeah.
even we can do something in person, local, but so that people understand self-fulfillment is the key. Self-fulfillment. That means, what do I want for me that lights me up? Like, I'm lit up like a butterfly. I am lit up like a butterfly that lights up the sky. I like my life. Does it sometimes arduous? Yes. Is it sometimes uncomfortable? Yes. Do I sometimes worry? Yes. All those things are going to arise because of the way we were taught on this path. But do I have to stay in them long? No, I can get out pretty quickly and stay in being full with myself. Now, fullness is constant. It's going to keep getting full, keep getting full, keep getting full. It's not like, oh, I'm full, I'm done now. It's a constant thing. And when you can find this place of self-fulfillment, comparison will happen, but you won't hold it. Criticism is going to happen, but you won't hold it. Okay? Compliments are going to happen, but you won't hold it because you don't need the ego in that space, right? What you need is how you can feel good about who you are, walking in the light of source energy. So guys, go ahead and check out the website, IamPerfectlyFrank.com. You can please ask questions. We have coaching opportunities. We are going to start doing and posting some maybe once a month on Zoom group information on how to find self-fulfillment. Please go ahead and check out our website, check out the coaching, ask some questions, please. We'd love to have you ask more questions. I look forward to seeing you again on our next podcast. Check out IamPerfectlyFrank.com, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us today on this podcast. By the way, at the I Am Perfectly Frank website, you can find information about all the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. We treat pain patterns. We are coaches. We do intuitive work. We also do massage. We also help you understand what your pain is telling you so that you don't have it anymore. Anyways, again, check out the IamPerfectlyFrank.com website, and thank you for joining us today.